Hi, my name is Mike Kemper, and just wanted to introduce myself and get you familiar with a program that I'm developing here in the United States, and wanted to share it with you and see what you think of it and get feedback and want to make this a online community for missing and displaced people. So just want to give you a little bit of background as far as who I am, where I come from. I'm actually originally from Cincinnati, Ohio, was born and raised there, and I have a degree in art, and so I'm more of a visionary. I envision things and create things that are needed. And so I was retained by the federal government and Criminal Investigation Division of the U.S. Treasury Department to help court cases, of which complex litigation. So I had to come up with ideas and solutions for a lot of money laundering, drug cases, corruption, what have you. So I've seen a lot in my career that the average person hasn't seen, and it has touched me and it's changed my life. And so what I'd like to do is kind of go over some of this background because it does relate to what we're trying to do here today, and that is to assist and help missing and displaced people around the world. Right now, there's over 68 million people that are documented that are missing or displaced. So it's a huge, huge issue. And with the media and social media today, we can actually utilize some of the latest technology. I was looking at doing this 10 years ago, and really it wasn't even feasible to what we can do today, how far-reaching we can have this in effect for a global initiative. So back to a little bit of my background as far as the government. So I worked for the government for 13 years after I graduated. And what I wanted to do is then start a business because I'm a visionary. I like to, create software solutions. I'm not a programmer myself, but I'm more of a program manager / visionary. So I decided to move to Salt Lake City because Salt Lake City is one of the hubs in the world as far as software development. And I knew that there would be the talent there to create a business. And so I was a Microsoft certified partner for a total of 12 years and developing a software for companies throughout the U.S. and Canada. And so in 2006, I had an idea outside of the corporate structure of how much we could make money developing software, something to give back. And the area that I wanted to give back was for missing and displaced people. So I was originally going to base it in London, England, and the economy here took a hit fall of 2008, and so I had to pull back on things. So I had to put this on hold, which actually is a blessing in disguise because I don't think we could actually do this with the older technology. I think the technology that is coming forward in front of us today, we can utilize this and develop software pieces to help missing and displaced people. And so I developed I was a program manager to develop software, and so we originally was going to develop this until, of course, that crash hit. So I kind of pulled back, waited a few years, and said, okay, when's a good time to do this again? So I feel now is a great time. Even the forum that we're using today is a great forum to even possibly look at and consider, does this have, a place in what we're trying to do as well. So we want to be open-minded as well and look at all options and get feedback. And that's the reason why I want to, reach out to you and see what you think and get this thing going. So in a nutshell, it's come to a point for me in my life that, that I've seen a lot of things happen around the world. I travel international. I went to school in London, England, at King's College. So, I've seen a lot of things, and I've been touched by the people that I've met along the way, and seen some documentaries on missing, displaced people and human trafficking, and it's appalling. And we need to do something that that helps humanity, helps these people that are in need, and utilizing technology. There is a company called the Underground Railroad, and they actually have created a documentary of the abolitionists. I'm not sure if you've heard of it or not, but you might bring it up online and take a look at it. It was well produced, Hollywood, standards, everything. It was done of missing and displaced children that have been trafficked through Central and South America. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. So what we're intending for our solution to do is be an online community. And that would allow us to be the umbrella for all missing and displaced, even websites. There's over 1 million websites for missing people, but it's very displaced, or fragmented, excuse me. So what we intend to do is to be the umbrella for these entities to say, okay, we're the software solutions. We know how to do this. We can do this through social media. We'll have a larger reach through our global SEO and be able to create a solution that is going to help on a larger scale of people that are missing and displaced. And it can also be an environment for even large catastrophes like a Katrina, 9/11, things around the world, that affect thousands, if not millions of people. They can go onto our site and they can create campaigns, kind of like a Facebook. So let me just go into some graphics here and be able to show you some things and explain it as well. Sorry about that. So we have an idea and solution. So it's a global based and it's a cloud-based social media solution for missing and displaced people. So I was coming up with an idea as far as a name, and kind of went around and was looking for something. I was actually being very, I was thinking sophisticated, something that would be, a really cool name. But it really came down to something really basic. Find me here. Creating a solution for humanity, being the technology company that puts this together, being like a Facebook for human trafficking, different things we can branch into, and just be known as the catalyst for software development and solutions in social media. And one of the areas, I've got another graphic here, one of the areas that we definitely, it's kind of our area of expertise where we actually focus, because with any business, you want to see where your niche is, what market, where are you positioning yourself. And within what we're doing is we're targeting not the first level and the second level of like safety and security. A lot of government agencies and fundraising, even Red Cross, cover those really well, and they've been doing them for years. And there's no sense in trying to go into an area that's really been developed well. In our area is right above that, love and belonging. So when people are missing and displaced, this is something that they are deprived. So with our solution, we are focusing on helping people to get them back to their family, their loved ones. This is a basic need that these people have, and for us to use the tools of social media and all the applications and everything we can use. The Google mapping, we can tap into the Facebook. We can do tweets, all these things. We can tie all this together and make it as a seamless solution for people that are wanting to create what we call a campaign for their missing loved ones or friends, what have you. So I have another graphic here, kind of shows how this all lays out as far as the actual campaign. So we're saying we are an online community working together for missing and displaced people. So on the site have the graphics and everything showing how they can actually build a campaign. And an individual would go in and they would go to our system, which is very, it's security-wise, it's going to be state of the art. It's in the data center. It can be audited and everything. So what we have here is we actually have where somebody can actually go in, create a campaign, and say that there's somebody who's just became missing. They create the campaign. Then what that does is that goes out to the internet, and if someone wants to, or a group of people want to assist, they can actually assist in a campaign. So it's kind of like an Uber, like you have to get the permission from the person that actually is creating it, because there are people that would possibly want to, affect the process, that they may not want it to go, as seamlessly as possible is what we want. So we want people to get involved that would match up with the person that's creating the campaign. So I'll give you an example. So somebody creates a campaign, let's say in New York City, and something happened in London, England. Well, they have family, they have loved ones who live in London, and something happened, a terrorist attack or something. They're wanting to find their loved ones. So what they do is they create the campaign, they fill out the questionnaire, and then people that may not even be related to the person creating the campaign can actually assist. Well, see, I went to school in London, so I have a heart for what goes on in London. I have contacts there, and so I would put in, to assist the campaign, I would put in information that would match. It's kind of like a match dating service, like Match.com, where you fill out your information as assisting a campaign. The person that's creating the campaign would then, it would actually go to them, software, we would match everything up, and it would say, you're 80% compatible with this campaign. Would you like to participate? So the person that's creating the campaign actually then says, okay, everything looks okay. I'll go ahead and accept your assistance and everything. And then once you've built the campaign and you have all these people assisting you, let's say, I'll just throw out a figure. Let's say in London it was a terrorist attack, and something happened at a scale that whatever, and X number of people, let's say 100 people got involved or 1,000 people got involved. All those go through the profile, and then what happens is they all become part of that what we said earlier. They become part of that online community working together for missing and displaced people. So they actually have blogs, chat, alerts, just like our forum today. Everyone's, you're alerted, if you're part of it, you can interact. And that's what we want. We want the interaction. And for this to develop too into something even bigger, the technology is going to change. So we want to be able to change and kind of, look at how the system's set up, today, and how is it going to be in a couple years. It may change. It may morph itself into, something that people have interacted with and have given us feedback to say, have you thought about this? What can we use for that? So, and then we just use our expertise as far as the software to create that environment so that the average person can create a campaign. It's very visual, and I'm a graphic artist, so I tend to put everything in visual form so that it simplifies it, so that they can create these campaigns on the fly. They're going to have a lot of other information, coming at them as things are progressing. But with this, at least it will have control over the entire campaign. And one of the areas of the campaign would be, and I'll show you another graphic here, and this is for the demographics. So tie everybody in. You could be in Europe, you could be in Brazil, you could be in the United States, Africa, Southeast Asia, and let's say that there was an earthquake or something that happened, somewhere in the world that people worldwide, they're like, oh my, is there something I can do? Yes, there is something you can do. You can get involved. You can go in and put in your profile so that the person who's created the campaign has accepted them to do it. Or you can create your own campaign. It doesn't matter. It's free floating. You can create whatever you wish. The beauty about the demographics is it's always going to tell where you may have seen somebody, and it would be alerted, and it would show you. Actually, it could bring up through the mapping of the Google map. And so we don't want to be in the business of redeveloping software either. If there's a solution that you can use, Google Map is beautiful. They have web applications that will allow developers to create things so that they can allow us to use their beautiful interface, the graphic interface, and find things. So then what we have is we would have like a monitoring system built in place too that would actually show where things are happening. If a campaign is being where somebody needs to fly somewhere to take care of something, they need to alert somebody from another part of the world. So we want to have it as graphic as possible so that they can actually alert. This could be a national catastrophe. It could be something major where millions of people are affected. So we have something in place that we can scale up our system, that we can actually take enough people in the system that will accommodate not just thousands of campaigns, but millions of campaigns. It doesn't matter. That's the beauty about this software is you can scale the system up, or whatever wherever in the world it needs to be increased or whatever. We can scale it up through our data center. So this is primarily just in a nutshell. What I can do is I can give you as well the graphic that kind of shows how, more specifically, how it's laid out. And so a person that would go to the website findmehere.org, and then through that, they're actually they can create the web campaign. They can do a profile building with demographics and blog campaigns. And then behind the scenes, we're going to be using the latest technology with SEO and be able to be high on a Google search engine so that when they bring in for missing people, we're one of the first ones or on the first page. We eventually want to be on the top listing for missing and displaced people. And that's why we want to have like municipalities, like cities, state, even, it could be federal. This is an initiative without borders. It's without government restraints. It's about people just coming together and making this happen. It's beyond government. And so if we have, like in the United States, if we have thousands of cities that have missing and displaced people, instead of them trying to create something like what we're doing, they can just put their campaign in our system. We promote it. We let them know that this is the site for finding people, and then they would actually then add that into our system. And by doing that, then that creates our SEO and our search engine to put it at a higher level. So that's where the social media solution that we have here, and utilizing all the tools with social media, and then also the back end, the database part of it, creating an effective database that will accommodate all these different functionalities and simplify it so that we can replicate it and actually scale this thing up. It's very scalable, and in the software industry, you want things that are scalable. You don't want a lot of like investigative work that you're spending money and time on. What you want to do is you want to provide tools so that people can utilize these tools so that they create their own campaigns, they create what they wish to do, and you just give them to tools in order to be able to accommodate for that. So this is a solution that definitely in today's world and the technology that we have, it's definitely find a need and fill it. It's definitely find a need and fill it, and it's also feasible to be able to do this now that we've never been able to do. And it's very interesting that I did see the documentary, The Abolitionist, and it was being shown in several of the areas, movie theaters throughout the U.S. I'm not sure how far internationally they did it, but it was very touching. And like I said, if you get a chance, see it. One of the things, we had the governor of Utah, and with us being a technology state, he was really, really adamant that we need to come together and as a community and build something for missing and displaced people. He said he wants to be known as the state that really promotes this and really makes this happen. So with that being said, they also had a panel discussion of the directors and the producers that created the Abolitionist movie. And one of the actual the narrator to that, and Larry King, who is very much into humanitarian, was stating too that we need to, with the technology of the world today, the young people need to come together to create software solutions, things that are revolutionary. That this is a revolutionary time for us to pull this together and make this happen. So I'm reaching out to all of you, and for this to grow and for this to be something that becomes a household name, that we're here to come up with solutions. And I don't have all the answers. I've just noticed through the years, how fragile the world is. And being in law enforcement, I know the corruption, and I know of how things are manipulated and people are trafficked all throughout the world. Documentaries have been out there as well. And so with that, I'll open it up to any questions that you may have. So one of the things that you may have questions of is just in general, as far as the software, how secure is this? If you're talking about people that are missing and displaced, well, there's another side to this. There's people that do not want us to build something like this, that don't want us to have these ideas. So, so with that, with my background in law enforcement, and we've done computer forensics and litigation support for the state of Utah and other parts of the country. And so as far as knowing the technology, knowing the infrastructure, it's definitely something that I'm very cognizant of, and know what dangers there are out there as well, and to be very cautious as we approach this, and get feedback from people and concerns as we move forward. So we can also follow up. I'd love to follow up, and as we progress with this and we come up with, ideas and more input, because, like I said, I want this to be for the people, of the people, globally, not something that I'm thinking of just in my head to say that I have all the answers. This will develop into, much bigger, and it will be, I'm envisioning that it would be similar to Facebook. This will be, a piece that the average person would know about throughout the world because of the concerns and the needs. And when it does happen, we want to be proactive. And I'll give you an example. When a Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans happened, I think it was 2000, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I believe that the Katrina happened in 2003. And what they did was, or 2005, I'm not sure what the date is, but anyway, they created a system for missing and displaced people because they had over 1 million people displaced or missed in the New Orleans area. And because of that, they needed to have some type of system. So they said, okay, well, create a software solution for missing, displaced people. Well, they're really not, if it happens again in New Orleans, they would have a system, but I don't know how often they update it, what have you. But this could happen anywhere. I mean, it could be just in another state, it doesn't matter, but what we want it to be is proactive, so that we create a system where a campaign that would help people, that if there's another hurricane that's similar, that people would know to go to our site to start looking for their loved ones. And with it being a household name, then they're, okay, that's the place you go. You go there when something does happen. There's a catastrophe, or, something at a scale of Katrina. So yes. So it looks like I'm not able to, as far as the questions, this is the first time I've been on this forum. So maybe what we need to do is reconvene and see if I can get this corrected, as far as, because I noticed that I didn't see any questions, and I'm sure that people have questions. So so let me go ahead and I'll go ahead. Let me hold on one moment here. Let me check something out here. Let's go on the internet here. So it's looking like I need to, just bear with me a moment here.